Lust isn't your main problem. Boredom is. Idleness is. You weren't created to sit around trying not to sin. You were created for dominion, for work, for war, for worship. You think you're battling lust, but really, you're battling a life with no direction. Because here's the truth. A man on fire for God doesn't scroll all day. A man chasing his calling doesn't have energy left for lust. This isn't about willpower. It's about walking in your God-given purpose. Lust creeps in when you're empty. But when you're filled with the Holy Spirit, when you're moving in faith, when your eyes are set on the kingdom, lust starves. You don't need more self-help. You need a heavenly assignment. This isn't coping, it's war. And the only way to win is to live for something eternal. If you don't know me already, I am Knight's Wisdom, and my goal with this channel is to help you go from a gooning loser to a real, God-fearing man who ends up becoming a great husband and a great father. Lust doesn't show up because you're weak. It shows up because there's a vacuum where your mission should be. It fills the silence left by a man who forgot he was made to build. You weren't designed to sit still and feel good. You were made in the image of a creator, wired to conquer chaos, to subdue the earth, to lead with fire in your bones. When that fire isn't aimed upward, it turns inward and burns you from the inside out. Lust pretends to be desire, but it's really desperation. It's your soul, starving for assignment, screaming for direction. Without vision, the people perish. So what happens to the man with no vision? He scrolls, he drifts. He gets tangled in fantasies while his real future waits untouched. And the enemy doesn't need to destroy you, he just needs to distract you. If Satan can't get you to bow down to idols, he'll settle for keeping you busy with pixels. Lust isn't just a sin, it's a sign that you've forgotten what you're here to do. And until you reclaim that divine calling, your flesh will keep trying to fill the void with counterfeits. And just quickly, if you struggle on this path or just want to speed up the progress, go click the first link in the description and check out my store. You can buy my ebook on NoFap, my ebook on masculinity, or join my private community where you can talk to me personally or other like-minded men to help you on this journey, and also get both of the ebooks. But now, let's continue. Go check it out for more info. Purpose isn't just a good idea, it's your weapon. It gives your energy a direction, a reason to get up early, a reason to train, to study, to build, to serve. When your life is filled with meaningful work, building your business, growing your body, sharpening your mind, investing in people, deepening your relationship with God, lust doesn't stand a chance. You don't have time to be tempted when you're too busy becoming. Lust feeds on emptiness, on apathy, on emotional confusion. It grows in the cracks of an unstructured life. That's why purpose isn't optional. It's survival. The man without a mission will always default to pleasure, but the man with a mission is too focused to fall. When you know what you're building, you stop flirting with destruction. Every time you delay your purpose, you give lust more room to whisper. Every time you delay your calling, you create a void, and lust is always the first to fill it. You've got to see this for what it is. A spiritual attack masked as a habit. You're not just struggling, you're under fire. And the fastest way out isn't willpower, it's work. Not busy work, but kingdom work. Pursue something that costs you effort, something that forces you to grow. Whether it's your fitness, your craft, your ministry, or your leadership, pour yourself into it with discipline and obsession. Because when your spirit is burning with divine ambition, your flesh can't keep up. Purpose is like spiritual testosterone. It forces weakness to shrink. It pushes out lust, laziness, indecision. It reorders your desires. The Bible doesn't just say to flee from sin. It calls you to run the race set before you, as is said in Hebrews 12:1. That's not passive, that's violent. Purpose is the holy aggression that says, I don't have time for that. You're not here to barely survive temptation. You're here to leave no room for it. And the only way to do that is to stay so locked in, so mission-minded, so filled with the fire of God's calling that there's no oxygen left for sin to breathe. You weren't created to chase comfort. You weren't formed in the image of God just to wake up, scroll, survive, and repeat. You were made for mission. God didn't breathe life into your lungs so you could waste it on fantasy. He designed your soul for impact, for legacy, for dominion. Your heart was built to carry vision. Your mind was crafted to strategize, to lead, to create. Your body wasn't made for pleasure. It was made to carry purpose with discipline and strength. Every ounce of lust, every temptation, every pull you feel isn't the main issue. It's just a loud symptom of a deeper problem. A man who has forgotten what he was made to do. Because when a man finds his calling, lust loses its grip, not just because he's trying harder, but because he no longer has time for distractions. Purpose consumes him. Mission drives him. He doesn't wake up thinking about temptation. He wakes up thinking about territory, about building something that outlives him, about becoming someone God can trust, with influence, with leadership, with a family, with spiritual weight. That's the difference between a passive man and a man on fire for God. One is ruled by his urges. The other is ruled by his assignment. Lust thrives in men who sit still, but purpose moves you. It gives your pain meaning. It turns your cravings into fuel. When you're idle, lust knocks. When you're bored, it whispers. When you're insecure, it offers false comfort. But when you're laser focused on what God has placed in your hands, when you're grinding, building, serving, training, praying, creating, lust becomes background noise. Your energy is already spent doing what matters. You don't have time to open apps, entertain fantasies, or fall into shame. You're too focused, too driven, too deeply aware that eternity is on the line. Men without purpose chase validation. Men with purpose become valuable. They don't need the approval of strangers online or the temporary thrill of lustful escapes. They walk with quiet confidence. They lead in silence. They protect their thoughts because their thoughts shape nations. They take dominion over their mind, their eyes, their choices, because they know that what they do in secret becomes their legacy in public. God doesn't entrust His kingdom to distracted men. He entrusts it to the faithful, the consistent, the locked-in sons who take their mission seriously. Your future wife, your future children, your future ministry, they're all tied to the choices you make now. Every moment you choose to pick up your cross instead of picking up your phone, you're becoming more of who God made you to be. Every day you rise early to seek Him, to work, to grow. You're starving lust by feeding your spirit. You're not just avoiding sin. You're becoming a dangerous man of God, one who can't be bought, can't be seduced, can't be shaken. You're building strength not just for yourself, but for generations to come. The kingdom doesn't need more comfortable men. It needs men consumed by purpose, men who walk with fire, men who don't bow to lust because they bow to Christ, men who aren't afraid to sacrifice comfort for calling. This is who you are becoming, not because of your own strength, but because you've surrendered to His. You weren't made for scrolling at midnight. You weren't made for chasing shadows. You weren't made for shame. You were made for glory, for righteousness, for eternity. So wake up, lock in, and walk like a man who's on a mission from God, because you are. Now, take a moment to reflect on everything we've covered. The battle isn't just about fighting lust. It's about embracing the greater calling that lies before you. Lust will always try to take root in a life without vision. But when your eyes are locked on a mission from God, when your soul is fully consumed by purpose, lust will fade into the background. You won't need to battle your desires because your heart will be aligned with the divine. This is the reality. You weren't made to be a passive bystander. You weren't made to sit on the sidelines, letting the enemy control your thoughts, your actions, your life. You were made to lead. You were made to dominate, not out of pride, but out of the power of the Holy Spirit working in you. But in order to lead, you need to first find your purpose. You need to discover the fire God has placed in you and let it burn brighter than any temptation. Your mission is bigger than your momentary struggles. Your calling is greater than any fleeting desire. Focus on what you're becoming, not just what you're fighting against. Let your purpose be the foundation of everything you do, and watch how everything else falls into place. So, start today. Start right now. Get up, shake off the apathy, and ask yourself, what am I called to do? How am I going to build for eternity? Don't just live to survive the day. Live to thrive for the kingdom. When your soul is on fire for God, lust will become nothing more than a distant memory. You were made for more than just avoiding sin. You were made to build something eternal, something powerful, something that changes the world. Rise up, man of God. Take your place. Your future depends on the choices you make today.